Good morning everyone, and welcome to part 6 of Infernum. In this episode, I will be building a herb farm and killing Queen Bee and Skeletron. First I actually need to log into the world. Okay, first things first, I'm going to explore the jungle to get materials for the axe of regrowth. To make the axe of regrowth, I need the staff of regrowth, vines, jungle spores, and a copper axe. Here are some vines from the man-eaters. And then, while exploring the jungle, I find a granite enclosure with a granite chest, which contains an unstable granite core, which is an accessory which shoots granite energy at nearby enemies, which will help quite a bit. So yeah. I'm digging through some walls to get jungle spores. I find a beehive I won't use. After a lot of digging, I find the Vernal Pass sub-biome, which is not only a good Plantera arena, there's also lots of loot. So I find the Anklet of the Wind, which will be very useful later on. And eventually, I find the Staff of Regrowth, which is exactly what I came here for. Now I have everything I need, so I head back up to the surface and make the copper axe, and then the axe of regrowth, which replants trees automatically and increases herb yield. So this won't be leaving my inventory for the rest of the game. But anyways, now that I have the axe of regrowth, I start making a herb farm to put it to use. So I built up the walls. Now I start on building the roof from grey brick. As a main frame for the roof. I have it slope upwards and then sort of level off at the top for some reason. And then I add an extra layer of grey brick, so the roof looks a bit sturdier. And I add in some stone within the grey brick, and I start hammering some slopes in so the roof doesn't look as blocky. Start hammering the inside of the ceiling so it looks smoother. And then adding in some bits of regular wood along with the living wood, and making sure to hammer over the inside of the ceiling. And with the outside done, I start placing in some of the planter boxes so I can actually plant herbs. And finally, I've just got to add in the back wall for the herb farm. And then finally, I just place in some seeds. And then there we have it. That is the herb farm done. Right, so I buy some dynamite and then head down a living mahogany tree because I want to build an arena to fight the Queen Bee in. So first I placed down a row of planter boxes as a platform. Yeah, if you don't know, Calamity adds this giant beehive under this mahogany tree, which makes it a good queen bee arena. So I use that as my chance, and then after building the arena, I summon up the queen bee, and this fight was a complete pain in the ass. So get ready for a death montage. After the first attempt, because it didn't go very well. Well, it actually went better than expected, to be fair. But I didn't expect very much, to be honest. If you thought this would be simple, and I would not die to this boss, then you'd be sorely mistaken. Because I die a lot, and I mean a lot. So, yeah. And yeah, as you can see, oh wait. So here is the actual final attempt. And first, the queen bee dashes, so just fly up and down to dodge the dashes. And queen bee also shoots a spread of stingers, so I just go in a U shape to avoid them. Same for honey stingers. For my weapon of choice, I'm using the Shade Thrower for its being easy to aim and having consistent damage. %, Queen Bee prepares a bee swarm, so fly over to avoid the stinger wall, and move in a sine wave motion to avoid the bees. After the stinger wall, she summons bees from side to side, so just fly up and down and look out for any gaps in the bees, I suppose. And then she immediately dashes, so after that, so you got to be prepared for that. And then at around 25%, I think, Queen Bee goes into a desperation phase, where it's all the attacks from before, but they're even faster now. So just keep doing what you were doing before, and you should be good. But after a long and intense fight, after one final shade flame, Queen Bee is down. And from the bag, I get the Bee's Knees, which is a brilliant bow which shoots bees, or shoots a column of bees, and will be my weapon of choice for the Skeletron fight. Also there's the honeycomb, which can be used for the stinger necklace, which I'll make later on. So anyway, I reforged the Bee's Knees to Unreal. Now to go to... Okay, so here's my first attempt against Skeletron, and it goes about as well as you expected. Ends in a death to that skull wall attack. So in the meantime, I build an arena extra long and with 2 layers. So that's oh, here comes the death montage. Yeah, so there was a lot of deaths. There were like, this took like 30 attempts in total. 29, I think. So yeah, it was very difficult. It's quite fun, to be fair. This is just a small portion of the deaths you see. Here's the final attempt. Skeletron starts by shooting homing skulls. So just run away to avoid them. This fight I'll be using the Bee's Knees for its consistent damage and homing bees. 85% Skeletron enters phase 2 and starts shooting a spread of skulls and shadow flames. So just tap left or right to avoid those. Then there comes this skull wall, so don't go too far away and try and find the gap. And then for this shadow flame barrage attack, just try and take it slow. Fly up and down slowly. And for that attack, just run away. Those shadow flames really don't add anything. So that skull wall attack yet again. I struggled with that a lot, to be fair. And here you can see me trying to move a bit slower. That's how you dodge that. You don't run frantically. That's how you get hit a load of times doing that. At 50%, Skeletron enters phase 3. During this, Skeletron does his Skull Rain attack, so just try and stay in the middle and then run into where there's a gap in the skulls. And then he does this circular spread of skulls, so just go in a circle yourself to avoid those. At some point he starts shooting shadow flames in a sine wave pattern, so either jump above or below or go in between them. It's easier to go above or below. Yeah, I don't really think there's any other attacks, so yeah, it is quite a complex fight for pre-hard mode. But that's Infernum, I suppose. anyway, I'm approaching near the end, and then Skeletron does its death animation thing where it does the bonk meme. I don't know why. It's funny though, to be fair. From the bag, I get some bones to craft 2 new weapons, the Archerfish and the Flurry Storm Cannon, both of which are really good. So I head back to base and grab some materials to make the Flurry Storm Cannon, which is a snowball cannon upgrade which increases in fire rate as you use it. Also make the Archerfish, which is a gun that converts musket balls into piercing water streams. Okay, so I test these weapons out on a target dummy, and Flurry Storm Cannon does 250 DPS and Archerfish does 180. These new weapons, I head over to the dungeon to get the Shadow Key and handgun. So yeah, I start heading into the depths, and there's the Shadow Key on the first chest, which is very nice. Takes a lot longer to get the handgun though. And then I get sent up back to the surface unwillingly, and then decide I might as well use that opportunity to open some shadow chests to get the Hellwing bow. No luck for the first few chests, but eventually I do manage to get the Hellwing bow, which shoots an inaccurate spread of bats and does around 150 DPS. I'm not really a fan of this weapon because it's really inaccurate, and the damage doesn't really make up for it. Back into the dungeon, and I get a magic missile, and then I get another unwanted death, and then finally I get the handgun, which is very nice. So with that in hand, I head back up and immediately upgrade it into the Phoenix Blaster using some Hellstone. Although much slower than in vanilla, this weapon compensates slightly by having a good base damage, dealing 160 DPS. Finally, I reforged the Phoenix Blaster to Unreal. But anyways, that's all for this video, so see you lot in the next one.